Welcome to Cyprus News by FinancialMirror.tv. An intense and at times ugly price war seems to have erupted among auditors in Cyprus in their quest to maintain market share faced with demands for cost savings by clients, big and small. The undeclared war is probably one of the biggest challenges the new leadership of the Association of Certified Public Accountants of Cyprus will be faced with after a new board was elected into office. The accountants are particularly pleased for having contributed to the success of placing Cyprus on the white list of the G20 and the OECD, since Cyprus, having embraced the full transparency rules, had gained an edge against other competitors such as Austria, Luxembourg, and Switzerland, which were still on the OECD gray or black list. The inclusion in the OECD so-called white list played an instrumental role in the negotiations, after which Russia agreed to remove Cyprus from its two tax blacklists. VW Group distributors Unicars have introduced their own financing scheme, Volkswagen Bank, to help a growing number of Cypriots buy a new car or upgrade to the next level of premium models. Premium car sales are doing very well, accounting for a 24 to 25% share of all new cars sold in Cyprus, rising to 40% if we include the used car imports, Unicars CEO explained to the Financial Mirror. In cooperation with Volkswagen Bank, the local agents have decided to do a soft introduction of the service, and about 50 customers have so far opted for this financing scheme, which is currently being handled through Alpha Bank. Cyprus's central bank forecast that the island's economy would grow 0.4% in 2009, is lower than government forecast and marginally higher than those of the European Commission. The GDP growth rate is seen at 0.7% during 2010, the governor of the central bank said. The new forecasts are substantially lower than the previous growth forecast of 2% for 2009 and 2.5% for 2010 made by the central bank. The European Commission has forecast Cyprus's growth at 0.3% in 2009, while the Finance Ministry expects it to be around 1%. Despite the deteriorating situation, Cyprus's finance minister remains an optimist, and in an interview with Reuters, he said the worst of the global crisis is over, but efforts are still needed for the recovery to be sustainable. Stavrakis said there are quite a few green shoots emerging globally, but the challenge remained whether the recovery would be robust, move at very low growth rates, or even be followed by a further slowdown. He said the European Central Bank was doing a good job of balancing inflation pressures with efforts to boost recovery. Eurobank EFG has become the fifth largest bank on the island, according to central bank data, as well as statements made by the bank's general manager in Cyprus. The Greek bank intends to expand the number of customer business centers from the current 3 to 10. Eurobank will remain committed to offering wholesale banking operations, offering specialized services such as investment and private banking, in addition to asset management and international banking services. Eurobank also intends to participate either as advisor and/or provider of financing for large infrastructure projects in Cyprus. Etihad Airways, the national airline of the United Arab Emirates, launched its inaugural service from Abu Dhabi to Larnaca on Sunday, with the 4-hour flight EY093 arriving at 12:15 p.m. The airline said in an announcement that the launch of direct flights will support greater tourism flow between the two countries, particularly for UAE residents who are increasingly looking to take short weekend breaks in Cyprus. Travelers from Cyprus can also access Etihad's expanding network, which includes key cities with large Cypriot communities in Australia and South Africa, as well as other popular destinations in the Far East. Tiffany Shopping Mall in Limassol, the biggest shopping complex in Cyprus with 80 stores, has changed its name to My Mall, after an agreement reached between Tiffany Investments Limited and the Tiffany Company of the United States. Although the registration of the brand name Tiffany Shopping Mall had been made according to the laws and regulations of the Republic of Cyprus, and the Department of Registrar of Companies had issued the owner company all the necessary approvals, the well-known American company raised legal issues concerning the brand name. After negotiations among the lawyers of the two companies, the decision was taken to proceed with the opening of the mall as planned, to maintain operation according to the initial plan, and to retain the name of the owner company, Tiffany Investments Limited, whilst changing the brand name. Now some economic news in brief. The number of building permits authorized by the municipal authorities and the district administration offices increased for a second straight month in March, rising by 7.3% to 766. Total exports fell by 9% to €86 million in April. Total imports fell even further, however, by 26% to 446 million euro. The preliminary trade deficit shrank by 146 million euro in April to 360 million euro, compared with 505 million euro a year ago in April 2008. The number of old and used vehicles registered in Cyprus continued to fall steeply in May, reaching 4,496, a drop of 31% compared with May 2008. In January through May, total registrations of motor vehicles decreased by 23% to 22,275 from 28,939 in January through May 2008. The number of employed reached 377,000 in the first quarter of 2009, down from 380,000 in the same period of 2008. Unemployment rose slightly to 18,200 in the first quarter of 2009, compared with 18,150 in the same period of 2008. However, the unemployment rate remained the same at 4.6%. Thanks for watching FinancialMirror.tv.